Ryan Day today wouldn't comment on the reports that Dallan Hayden has told the coaching staff he is going in the transfer portal, nor did he refute those reports. We believe them to be true. So I asked him today, is that enough depth? Does he have enough depth behind him? He says Ohio State needs 5 running backs. He says it has 5 running backs. Obviously, Trevion Henderson, Quinshon Judkins at the top, and then walk-on T.C. Caffey and true freshman James Peoples and Sam Williams-Dixon. Andrew, is that enough running back depth for Ohio State this year, or does it need to go into the portal to find someone else if that person is available here when the portal opens up next Tuesday?
I'm going to speak out of both sides of my mouth here, and I don't like to do it, but I think I have to. If you can find somebody who is willing to be a third, who is willing to be a Dallan Hayden replacement, then yes, you have to go get that person, if that person's available. And it also depends on how do you feel about T.C. Caffey? Like, is T.C. Caffey enough to where you can just say, you know what, we feel good enough giving him a scholarship. We can put him in that room. He can be our third running back. Is that something the coaching staff feels comfortable in? Is that something the coaching staff wants? Is that an active replacement that you can, you know what, we're good with this? I don't know the answer to that question. I think that we're going to find that out over the next week or two. So it depends on two things. It's, can you get the guy that you want? Because how many running backs enter the portal going, you know what, I really want to be a third running back at this school, and I really want to play for this team. Like, it's going to be a very specific group of guys that you're going to have to target in that regard. And then it's, if that guy is even available, would you rather just elevate T.C. Caffey, and do you feel better about T.C. Caffey and James Peoples as your 3 and 4? So I don't know. I think I would look into it, and if the guy's not there, the guy's not there, and you just roll with T.C. Caffey and James Peoples as 3-4.
I do think you probably need a very specific sort of person. I had sort of joked on the pod, I think, that they need, if they could get a time machine and go back and get Chip Trainum to come in this year, that would be almost the perfect fit. It's like a veteran guy. It's a guy who, well, at the time, actually, he was changing positions, so it's not the perfect fit. They would need to convince him quicker that he's not a linebacker and needs to go back to running back. But somebody who has experience, who's been productive at the Power 5-4 level, but would rather come here and be a part of a potential championship as opposed to maybe going somewhere and running and being more involved or getting more carries, that sort of thing. Do you see it the same way, Stephen, that it needs to be a specific person as opposed to just someone who's sort of casting about? Because the guys that they have here, they like T.C. Caffey. James Peoples has real upside. You would just be, it's a little iffy because are you banking on a guy who had a major injury in T.C. Caffey not that long ago and 2 true freshmen?
I think they need a 5th guy. I don't think it has to be this specific. I don't agree with that notion of it you guys are talking about, where it's a guy who's like, okay, I'm cool with being third. I don't think it matters if he's 3rd, 4th, or 5th in that hierarchy. I think they want 5 because it's going to be a long season, and the guy who's number 1, at least 1A, does have an injury history. So you're going to have to use that depth at sometimes. There's a guy, I'll bring his name up on the pod. His name is escaping me right now, but some guys out there who are expect to go in the transfer portal where there's crystal balls out there for him to come in there. That guy doesn't fit the description you guys are talking about. He just fits the description of a scholarship running back, which is what they need. I think they're fine being in a situation where James Peoples is their 3rd running back. Because it's no different than what Dallan Hayden was in, except he's a higher rated guy than what Dallan Hayden is going to be, and he's the 3rd guy in the hierarchy. In fact, he's probably more perfect than Dallan Hayden was for that situation, just given the description around some of those guys. So I agree, they need a 5th guy because it's going to be a long season, and they want 5 running backs in the room at all time. But I don't think it has to be a guy who comes in and automatically is 3rd in the hierarchy. I just think they need another guy in the room because 4 is not enough.
No, I definitely disagree with that. They need the whole point here is whether their number 3 guy right now is good enough. That's why you would go to the portal. Like, is James Peoples good enough if he has to play a lot this fall to be a big part of this offense, or do you need to go find someone in the portal if they're available to bring that guy in to be the 3rd guy, to be kind of the bridge between the 2 established starters and then what's coming after that? So you're voting that you think James Peoples is ready to do that.
Correct.
Do you agree with that, Andrew?
No. I would rather a veteran at that position right now.
I think I am with Andrew. I would rather them, if the guy is available, and again, I think it has to be someone like a Chip Trainum who is an established player, not necessarily a star player, but an established player with some reliability. I just think you're asking, with what this team wants to accomplish this year, you'd be asking a lot of a true freshman who was not a 5-star prospect, who was not even he was barely outside the top 100, but you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't necessarily know he's going to come in and just tear the roof off the place the way Trevin Henderson kind of did as a true freshman. And I don't know if we've necessarily gotten indications that that's happening this spring. So I think if that guy is available, I think Ohio State will go after and get him, because I think what Dallan Hayden gave you was someone who over 2 seasons had proven that they could start somewhere, that just opportunity wasn't going to be here. The long-term plan for Ohio State was crashing into the short-term reality, and it made sense for him to go somewhere else. So can you get the flip side of that coming out of the portal? We'll find out when it opens on Tuesday. More talk about this on Buckeye Talk, and get the text 614-350-3315 for news and updates when those portal things start popping for Ohio State.